What is up, crew? Welcome to Seek the Edge podcast with me, Kelsey Lensman, where our mission is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone so you can tap into the God-given potential inside. For me personally this year, my word of the year is patience. I prayed about it and patience came up. I'm like, God, you can give me any other word besides patience. But my other word of the year, or just focus and intention, is consistency. And if you're anybody like me, I'm an athlete. I can be really focused towards a goal. I get excited about a goal. I get excited about working towards a goal. But what I realized last year when I was training I got off the 100-mile prep, then I trained for 2 high roxes back to back, and I was just pushing the gas pedal in all different areas of my life, which is good. We need seasons of go get them. But what was happening is because I was so focused on the goals that I was pursuing, is I let some of my small consistencies slip, meaning I was unintentionally underfueling and just not being consistent on the meals that I was eating. I was unintentionally not sleeping as much as I needed to. And it was these small consistencies that compounded up to negatively impact on how my body was functioning. And I ended up getting labs last year, and it was just a wake-up call for me, very transparently, where I was like, Kels, you need to prioritize you again. You need to prioritize your habits. And it's not that you're too busy. It's not that too many things are going on. You just need to set your intentions right and offload the things that are not serving you to free up space for you to be able to prioritize them again and stay accountable towards them. And one thing is, I've been keying in on those habits again, is reconnecting with not just you hitting specific macronutrient goals, whether it be protein, carbon, fat, but really building some of the small habits, meaning on your plate, where is your protein, carbon, fat? Increasing your fiber, increasing the color in your meals. That overall will add up to you feeling better, your body functioning better, and overall you getting to the goals that you want to get to. And so you might be listening to this, the time of the year we're recording is beginning of Q2. So the first 3 months of the year are done. We're beginning Q2. And many people set out with an intention of going after a goal, or setting out with intention of leaning out, gaining strength, whatever that goal may be for them. But then life happens, right? And we don't factor in, how do I consistently do this over time? And so you might be finding yourself right now like, man, Kelsey, I've been crushing it. I've been staying true to the intentions that I had at the beginning of the year. I've been going after the goals that I have. Or on the flip end, you might be listening to this feeling a little bit discouraged, saying, man, it has been 3 months and I am not very different than when I started the year. Or it has been 3 months and I have let a lot slip. And regardless of the camp that you're in, this is the time to refocus. This is the time to reset your intention, to reset a focus of where you're headed, because you will never be perfect with anything, but you have to be willing to be honest with yourself, to recommit towards the goals that you have in the version of you that you want to become. And that's really the mark of somebody who actually gets to where they want to go, is not how perfect can they be 24/7, but their ability to notice the small habits that they're slipping into, or maybe the small habits that they're slipping out of, and to refocus before it comes a full reset that is needed. And I already know that if you're listening to this podcast, you're the woman that is intentional. You're the woman that does want to be growth-minded and to progress towards whatever goal or whatever season that you're heading to. And in one part of the Expand Your Limits that we have, yes, we have the strength events, the endurance events, all the things to challenge women outside physically of their comfort zone. But we also, which has been our tried and true for years on end, is our one-on-one nutrition and fitness coaching. And we've been blessed to be able to do this with women all around the country. You don't need to be here in Columbus, Ohio, where I'm at. We have team members also all around the country for that. And we work online with them. And so you can have your training at your home or a gym near you. Nutritionally, we work with women, especially in nutrition, to help them understand how much they need to fuel your body, what to fuel their body with. And their goals can range from wanting to gain strength, to lean out, to improve body composition, to just get healthy internally and allow their hormones to get in a better spot. But even more than that is they want to become the woman that they've always desired to become. They just never thought that they could. And I always say when we're talking about growth, it's not just nutrition, it's not just training, it's not just a mindset. It's putting all of these puzzle pieces together in the right time, in the right way. That's going to get you to your goal. And that was my biggest struggle is I was doing the workouts. Thought I was doing the right things nutritionally. I was trying to do what I knew to do, but I wasn't getting close to the results that I wanted. Wasn't even close to it. And I kept getting frustrated. I was like, I feel like I'm doing the right things. And this is where the limitation got in my brain of, well, I guess I'm just not meant for that. She can get the body, but I can't. Or she can get the goals and I can't. And what I just didn't realize is as I hired a coach to help pull me together, I was doing things wrong that I didn't even realize I was doing wrong. I was underfueling when I didn't even realize I was underfueling. And now, thankfully, because they helped me get to this spot and pull all of these puzzle pieces together, I get to do that for other women and other girls. And I'm so excited to because I know how much freedom and knowledge it brought me in my life. And with our coaching team, we do monthly themes. And our January theme was consistency. And consistency means more than just hitting workouts or hitting macros. I want to go a layer deeper with that because the real consistency is what happens throughout the day, meaning your meal choices, your energy, and what it takes truly over that entire week to see progress. The problem with consistency, though, is this all or nothing type of mentality, meaning I used to struggle with it. When I was on, I'm on. When I'm off, I'm off. When it worked. And when it didn't work, it didn't work. And then I heard a quick Nick Bare podcast quote that hit me tremendously. And the quote was, to be consistently good over occasionally great. To be consistently good over occasionally great. And as I sat back and I thought about that quote, I realized that because I was just occasionally great, I'd be a day where I was really great and then a day where I wasn't. And a day where I was really great and a day that I wasn't. I was constantly kind of this high and low peaking versus this consistently good. And for the women that we work with, I will tell you, the women that get the most results is they are consistently good. They're not perfect one day and then terrible the next. They're just consistently good over time. And that's what we are chasing. We're not chasing extremes. We're not chasing completely go here, go this direction. We're just chasing that consistency. And that's where those 1 degree shifts come in. What can you do consistently well versus perfect over 1 to 2 days? And you will be amazed as you make those 1 degree shifts. And what that means is make a small little change. Okay. It might be getting more water in, maybe drinking a big glass of water before you walk out of the door. It's not going to completely revolutionize your life and have a 6-pack the next day. But what it will do is those small consistencies will compound. And that 1 degree shift is going to hydrate you better, which is then going to instigate you wanting to drink more water throughout the day, which is then going to instigate your body actually functioning better, which is then going to instigate your body actually being able to get to the results that it wants to, all by simply drinking that big glass of water in the morning. Small 1 degree shift doesn't mean that you completely 180 your life come tomorrow, but it is one of those small things that will add up to help you or to hurt you. And as we think through nutrition consistency or just consistency in general, I want us to first think weekly, okay? You don't need perfect weeks, meaning every single week or 1 week that's great. You just need enough consistency that your body and your brain get the message that this is who we are now. If you've heard any of the messaging that I give, that confidence is built by you keeping promises to yourself. Solely, bar none, that's it, period. Okay? You keeping promises to yourself. Meaning if I say I'm going to drink a glass of water in the morning, I keep that commitment that I drink a glass of water in the morning. But what happens is for most women, progress will happen when you're aligned about 5 to 6 days, we're consistent, versus just a perfectly 7 to 7, or if not, it's a fail. Okay, not consistent or perfect in every single area, but also not consistent enough to create momentum. And so I want you to remember, especially if you get into the all or nothing mentality, is that your progress and your results will come from a weekly average, not just one single day. I want you to win that day, but a weekly average and that consistency over time is really where your results are going to lie. And so what does 80% consistent really look like in a real week? And what that means is when we think about it, people hear be consistent and then they often assume they're never going to eat out. They're never missing a workout. They have to track every single little bite, which if you're in a cutting season, that might be a little bit more applicable for you. Or they need to be perfect 7 days a week. And that consumes them of, well, I can't do that perfectly, so let me do none of it. And that's not only unrealistic, but I tell women, you're not going to track macros until you're 85. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I don't have the belief that you need to. It's a great tool and I will constantly go back to it to make sure that I'm eating enough, but it's not going to create that long-term progress. Meaning if you're in that rigid type of mindset 24/7, results will come from something much more simple and you will realize that you will stay consistent with this. And that is 80% consistency. What that means is it's the sweet spot of we're structured enough to create change, but also flexible enough to sustain it. And what that actually looks like is, let's say you eat 3 meals a day, which I still want some snacks in there. That's about 21 meals per week. 80% is 17 out of those 21 meals are aligned with the goals that you have. Okay. It doesn't mean that you completely ball out and get McDonald's on the other 4 days, but it is focused on where's my protein, carb, and fat. They're aligned. And that will leave room for a dinner out, a treat, a social event, high calorie day, or just life happening. And it's not that you're failing, you're being human and still progressing. But what I will say is you need to keep promises, okay? Do not use that 80% rule because many people think 80% is a lot lower than what it is to get away with things, okay? 17 out of 21, that is a high number. So we need to stay aligned with the goals that we have and our decisions that we're being intentional with it, but also not get in the rigid mindset of, oh my gosh, I can never have an ice cream out or I can never have this thing, because it's like that big red button theory. If you tell your brain you can't have it, what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to press that button like a little 8-year-old that you tell not to press a button. You're going to want to press that button and do it even more because of that. And so when we can understand how to live life and still progress to it, it gives you so much freedom. Okay. And remember this, you don't need perfect days, you just need solid weeks. Progress does not come from one perfect Monday, it comes from your weekly average. And so a consistent week might look like Monday through Friday, mostly on track, meaning pretty consistent. Saturday you might go out to dinner or eat something fun. Sunday, some reset, normal meals, prep for the week. That's consistency. It's not perfection. It's not your chicken and broccoli every meal, okay? But it is consistency and it's a pattern. And so for that 80% consistent, you want to hit the big rocks. And let's simplify what those big rocks are. It's protein daily. It's balanced meals most of the time, which we'll talk about them. It's training 3 to 5 times a week. It's steps in movement and it's sleep and recovery. Okay? Protein daily, balanced meals most of the time, training 3 to 5 days, sleep and recovery, and steps in movement. It's the foundation. It's not the extremes. And no matter how advanced, I literally coach women in this. I've done a lot in the fitness industry and world. I will always go back to my foundations. When I know my body comp's not going the trajectory that I want it to, I go back to my water, my protein, the nutrition that I'm having, the sleep that I'm getting. And because it's not extremes, we need to live by one rule and not let one meal become 1 week. Meaning this is where many people lose consistency, is they have one off meal and then it becomes, I blew it. And so what happens? They spiral, they get frustrated, and one meal doesn't matter, but one day doesn't ruin anything, but quitting does. And that's why we always want to come back to it, okay? And so as we round out here what a balanced plate is and what balanced nutrition is a balanced plate is one of the most simple tools to be able to be consistent without overthinking, especially if you aren't tracking or you just want to think about how to build up a specific plate. Is most meals should include a protein, a carbohydrate, a healthy fat, and fiber. Or that could be also some color depending on it. Protein is the big anchor of it. Carbohydrate is for energy and performance. Healthy fat is for hormones and satisfaction. And then also fiber, that's for fullness and also blood sugar regulation. And when we're thinking about building our plate, I always look for this. Where's my protein, carb, and fat? Where's my fiber? We get fuller longer. We actually fuel our body better, and it allows us avoiding that crash and that snack cycle, meaning I either snack all the time or completely crash out. And getting really practical is I love to first key in on breakfast for people. That is the beginning part of your day. That's very easy to be a controllable, but we need to be intentional about it. And many women miss this because they just go fast. So they either get a quick bagel, a granola bar, or don't drink anything or coffee until noon, oatmeal with little fruit. Like they're just kind of rapidly going after it. And what happens is you spike your blood sugar and then you crash really quick. And by mid-morning, you're hungry again, and we're not able to actually satisfy ourselves and fuel ourselves well. And so the goal of breakfast is to create stable blood sugar, get sustained energy, have better appetite control in general, and a strong foundation of the day. And so the protein, or the anchor for that balanced plate for breakfast, is protein. Where is that protein on your plate to be able to satiate yourself? And we want to aim for about 30 to 40 grams, especially in the morning. Okay. Outside of that, we have that fiber, we have that healthy fat, and we have that carbohydrate, especially if you are training in the morning as well. So protein could be egg and egg whites, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, turkey bacon, a protein shake, meaning protein powder alongside real food. A fiber and color might be berries, spinach, peppers, avocado, chia seeds. Once again, we want to get that fiber in it. Healthy fat could be avocado, nut butter, olive oil, whole eggs, chia seeds, or flaxseed. And a carbohydrate, that might be oatmeal, fruit, sourdough toast, potatoes, granola. And carbs are really going to be your fuel for that, okay? So some options here with your breakfast here. It could be egg and egg whites, berries, and avocado, or with a slice of toast. It could be a Greek yogurt bowl with Greek yogurt as your main protein source, maybe protein powder mixed in, berries, chia seeds, granola, great options. A performance could be oatmeal. I do this actually every morning before I train. It could be oatmeal, whey protein stirred in, a banana and peanut butter. I just do it with strawberries instead. Or it could be turkey bacon, scrambled eggs, roasted potatoes, and spinach. Or a protein shake, a piece of fruit, and a handful of nuts if you have to go out of the door really quickly. And biggest thing is we want to make sure we're not skipping breakfast, first of all, or skipping protein. We're not eating only carbs. We're not just drinking coffee until noon, or that we're waiting too long and then really overeating later. We want to make sure that consistency is built from the onset of our day. Okay. And so to wrap this up, there's 3 things that you can do to be more consistent. Number 1, I want you to be proactive instead of reactive. I want you to plan ahead with what you have coming on the calendar so you can be consistent, and it's easier to do that when we decide in advance. Number 2 is put it on your calendar. If you're not used to eating a breakfast, lunch, and dinner or snacks, make it ping you throughout your workday. Your meals and habits deserve the same structure that your meetings and your workouts do for you. Okay. And number 3, plan for your worst day. I love this mindset. Is plan not for the best day if everything goes beautifully. Plan for the worst day, meaning plan for the day that you're tired, you're busy, you're overwhelmed, because consistency is not built just on your perfect days or your great days that go well. It's built on the days that you still show up even when it isn't going the way that you want it to. So you don't need to be perfect at everything. You don't need to every single day hyper focus on the all or nothing mindset, but you do need to be consistent. And that comes from keeping promises to yourself. That comes from planning ahead and being proactive with it. And at the end of the day, not only are you going to be a proud version of yourself, you are going to be a woman that is going after her goals and showing up for that version of you. Okay. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.